going about his day in his normal Ernie way.
His normal Big Easy fashion.
Big Ernie taking dead aim.
There's a lot of connotations here. The Big Easy, you know, I mean, it sounds lazy, you know, but that's kind of the opposite of what I've been for a long time. But I am got an easy personality, maybe, at times.
Only his swing. The size and the swing. Other than that, not so easy.
See my ball? How far is that? 30 yards? Ah, too far.
Just another day at the beach for Ernie Els, this time in Melbourne, Australia, to promote the upcoming 2019 President's Cup at Royal Melbourne Golf Club.
Has everyone got it? Hey! Good.
Ernie has been appointed international team captain, a role he considers a true honor.
I'm still growing into this position of captain. I just want to make the experience worthwhile for the player. And I want the players to have an amazing, amazing time. As long as we compete and we grow as people through the week.
Just another different day for not just another guy. On a different continent, 10,000 kilometers away from home. Every year, family and friends gather in the tiny town of George, in the remote area of West Cape, South Africa, for some golf, fun, food, and drink.
It's very special for everyone here, and the unity in the country that's slowly coming together again after all the strife, it's really been celebrated this weekend, and everyone has a lot of hope and positivity for what's lying ahead as a country, and that makes it even more special.
The annual Ernie Els Invitational, a celebration indeed, to honor the achievements of one of the country's greatest legends, the host and founder of the Fancourt Foundation.
The Ernie Els Fan Court Foundation started in '99. Ernie started the foundation to help kids from families of limited resources. And what the foundation was trying to create was educated young leaders as well as great golfers. And that's been the theme throughout the time that I've seen it grow.
Now in its 20th year, the foundation has produced such PGA Tour champions as Louis Oosthuizen, Charles Schwartzel, and Brandon Grace.
It's always nice for a guy like him to see maybe someone like myself coming through, the foundation. And, they do a lot of things for kids. They really open some doors for you, and they've helped me big time as well.
And they come because of Ernie.
Anytime Ernie pitches up, the crowds come. He's like the Arnold Palmer of South African golf. His impact on this country, on sport in this country, on golf in this country, is incredible. He's known as the Big Easy, and so as a hero to kids and adults, he's an easy guy to follow.
The Big Easy. Perhaps no moniker fits a person more, yet quite ironic that a man labeled so, whatever the interpretation, would hail from a place and time so small and hard.
This country's been through so many ups and downs, and we've always fought really hard to make a point of saying, please keep politics out of sport, because sport can overcome so many bridges. Sport, we all feel, is such a unifier. Through the good and the bad of the country, somehow sport has kept the country together.
Our great father, Nelson Mandela, said so aptly, sport can change the world. It can give people hope. People that are in despair, it can change it. It can go ahead to unbelievable heights and attain incredible success.
Case in point, one Theodore Ernest Els, a Hall of Fame career that includes more than 70 professional titles across the globe, including 4 major championships and 8 President's Cup appearances. And he'll captain the international squad in 2019. Not bad for a kid that grew up amidst the turmoil of apartheid to rise into one of the country's greatest humanitarians.
I had a great childhood, played a lot of sport, like a lot of people here in South Africa. The golf bug got me, and I was, kind of just starting with high school.
He was just a phenomenal player from the beginning, A lot of people's got talent, but he's got that extra talent and ability that it's very rare to find.
I won a little tournament in Johannesburg, and the winner got to go play in the Junior World in San Diego, California. Won the tournament, playing with Phil there in his hometown. When I came back home, that was a big deal.
I think that is just the kick-started Ernie. He won 3 tournaments in a row in South Africa, and then he went overseas, and then when he won the US Open, it was just boom.
And Ernie Els is the champion.
The pros that played with him right in the beginning realized how special he was, because he literally could up and down out of a drain pipe.
His drive was there. You could see it in his eyes. I never had a doubt that he would make it. He's just always had a self-belief that made you have no doubt about where he was going.
That's the sign of a champion right there.
It's just a determination to try and be good or number one or whatever. He was always going for that. I pushed him and I said, look, you can if you want to.
Ernie Els does it with a flourish.
Early success was indeed big, but by no means did it come easy.
Greg is a very old friend, Greg Norman, and after his first time with Ernie, he said he's going to be top 10 for as long as he wants to. But then he said golf's a game of plateaus, and you can get with a certain amount of work and talent to a certain plateau. If you want to go higher, you need to work harder.
There's a fire that burns within Ernie that people maybe don't appreciate. I've never met a player, and I work with a number of them, who works harder than him.
He's never had a problem with going out and practicing. It's always brought him so much joy. I'm sweating blood out in the sun, and he's out there for hours. Ooh, it was so great. I'm like, seriously, it was 110 degrees out there.
All of the hard work paid off. By the end of 2003, Ernie had amassed more than 40 professional titles around the world.
Congratulations. Very good.
I was the guy for a while, and then, things changed a little bit because of this great player.
When Tiger came onto the scene, suddenly there was huge competition.
Dead center, and Ernie Els is hot.
Tiger Woods on fire.
Ernie always wanted to play against Tiger, and that's the person I think also carried Ernie. Tiger was just this unbelievable person.
Tiger is back on top of the world.
Ernie should have won at least 10 majors. There may have been great boxers in the Muhammad Ali era that we never heard about. I don't know how many times Ernie came second to Tiger.
I mean, it really isn't fair. When you have Ernie Els out here looking back at him, shrugging his shoulders, saying, how am I supposed to beat you? What does that tell you?
He was in the top 10 for 12 or 13 years, unbroken, better than Tiger, better than anyone else. He didn't always get it done, but he was always there competing.
If you're not upset at not winning, then you're never going to win. Yes, there was some grumbling. Not every loss came as easy, but he made it somehow.
What do you think about that?
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of close calls, but I just ran into a guy a little bit better than me, and that's that. I mean, what a player.
Of the many head-to-head matches between the two titans, none would have more impact nor significance than the showdown in Ernie's home country during the 2003 President's Cup.
All the attention was on this event. To bring that kind of talent into this country, from a golfing point of view, was unbelievable. And then Tiger, being Tiger, myself coming from an Afrikaans background through the apartheid days where we grew up in the 80s, and then through the change with President Mandela becoming a democracy here, us meeting up.
Now you can shake hands now.
And then the whole thing coming down to the two of us. I mean, you couldn't script it better.
The three-day matches ended in a tie. A playoff was to decide the victor. Earlier in the week, captains Gary Player and Jack Nicklaus had picked their respective players to represent their teams.
It says Tiger.
Ernie Els.
With darkness upon them, the top two players in the world battled for 3 holes.
I was like, there's no way he's making this putt. And he plays a foot of break in the dark, and the ball goes right in the middle of the hole.
Tiger knew it. He started running to the hole.
You know, if I didn't make that putt and we lost on that green, I mean, that dagger would have been still in my chest.
Not so fast.
That was some of the most amazing golf and the most amazing pressure I've ever been a part of. And to do it with Ernie, I don't think either one of us ever want to do that again.
That was probably one of the biggest putts of my whole life. I mean, take the majors, everything, but I made the putt and then, you know, just called off, and it was a tie.
Our guys feel that the spirit of the game, and rather than U.S. retaining the cup, we share the cup.
I think that's marvelous.
When they said it's a draw, you know, it was just too dark to keep on. And that kind of thing we'll never forget.
It was pivotal for so many people. It was so important for South Africa as a country. And it's that unifier. Our sport brings everyone together. We unified as a country again behind Ernie when it came down to the crunch.
Golf has a proud history in this country of being one of the first sports to be properly unified before apartheid ended, but it has a proud history of integration. And I guess that was the culmination of it, seeing how it all worked and how it works.
The significance of that magical week at Fan Court still lingers to this day, not only in the tiny town of George, but worldwide.
You can ask any kid on the street who's probably been the most popular sportsman in South Africa. Ernie's by far first. I think more people know Ernie Els than who the president of South Africa is, believe me.
What's your names? You're going to be on TV.
Yeah, I'm Menachem. I'm Maya. Leo.
Where are you from?
I'm from Cape Town.
Okay, Cape Town. You see that, guys?
Thank you, Ernie.
Ernie's popularity only grew as his success continued. But even Easy Street has its bumps, and sometimes life's hardships can get in the way. When Ernie and Liesel's young son Ben was diagnosed with autism, trophies, it seemed, were no longer a priority.
We just looked at one another like, what has just hit us? I was really scared.
They became concerned that he wouldn't talk, but the moment the realization set in, he started doing something about it.
It was a tough moment there for a while. You know, I was still ostrich head in the sand, and he was like, no, this has to come out. We need to start talking about this.
Our boy is 6. His name's Ben. You know, we're a young family ourselves, and we just felt that, you know, it's a good time now to make it more public and come out and try and help other people deal with raising kids with autism.
It was good. It pushed us into starting a lot of wonderful stuff.
But the whole fallout, should I say, was incredible. I was like, man, I think we touched something here. And then the next thing with Liesel, my wife, she really felt that we needed to get a proper facility and build it ourselves.
In August of 2015, the Ernie Els Center of Excellence opens its doors to the first section of a 26-acre state-of-the-art facility.
Building that facility in Florida has been such an incredible journey to us. It's given back to us as well over the years, and you know, I hope we can continue to give back to those families.
Yeah, and then it just started morphing into where it became, and now people recognize us as the family with autism, and we're doing something about it.
So they gather once a year in this tiny place on the southern tip of Africa in celebration of the big man that let 14 little clubs spread the word.
None of that would have been possible without getting the name Els out there through golf. Nobody would have given. This would have taken us 20 times longer to get to this point if it wasn't for Ernie and for what golf has brought to him through the years. What he's worked for has helped him gain this through it.
Golf has given me the platform, and we'll see what people say. I'm not doing it to please anybody. I'm trying to do something that will help people going forward.
The golf is something obviously that made him famous and made him who he is, but he's more, I think, amazing off the golf course, and you know, you can't really say that about a lot of people.
End of the day, his legacy will go on for a very long time. He says, remember one thing, when you finish a golf day or talk, remember to tell people, I wanted to make the world aware of autism. I don't really want to be remembered as a golfer, and I think because that way the world actually wants more of Ernie, because he's giving back both sides.
There are many golfers that are respected, and then there's some that are loved, and Ernie's loved. I think his legacy will be his humanity and how beloved he is.
Ernie has represented South Africa in the best possible manner that an athlete could do. People loved him, and he loved people, and such unbelievable talent. What better thing can you do than to leave a legacy? And I think that's what Ernie did.